Okay. Right. Okay, so I will be talking based on the fact that your company must already have like some established things going on Hadio, right? You shouldn't be the first person to come and then start creating everything for them. So, but this will be the first thing you want to look at Azure DevOps. This is like the home page. And you can see that as is showing on Becoming Agile because that's the name of the theme. And then from this place, you can, will be showing us like how to get to the board. That's like what concerns us as a team, like as a Scrum team, what your team would be using. And then if you move over here and up to work items, then Coach Femi and Fumi has already, created some stories here, but we're not gonna, I'm still gonna walk you through how to create stories. But for right now, this would be how the board works. So this is the board. You see that it's going from to do to development stage. So this is what the guys, when they say they're moving things on the board, you move things across and then it changes the status thereby like that. But anyways, this is how a board looks. And you can pretty much view this is being viewed as a board right now, or you can view this as a backlog. Like when we say we have the product backlog and we have, our sprint backlog. So this is just like the different options that you have. But again, I will be taking us through each steps like as we go along the line. Anyways, now that we have established how the board looks, now let's go ahead and see how can we create stories. Like if you have a story and you want to add it to the board and you want to put it in a sprint, things like that, how can that happen? So you come right here to work items. On your work item, you have this drop down button. Okay, don't let me confuse us. Okay, right here at the work item, you have the options to create a bug. If it's an epic feature or whatever thing that the team needs being created. Right now, we will focus just on user story. So if I click on this, it takes me to this page. Now I have this new page of creating user story. And I will just be making things up randomly in my head. So just tag along. So my title wants to be, okay, add members to the OBA platform. Okay, that's the story that, I want the guys to work on. As a member of OBA, I want to be able to add members to the platform and increase us, sporadically, things like that. That's a story. And then the description could be anything, whatever you want to add to the description. Maybe the technical part of it, you want to be able to be an active you want to have like an active login, you want whatever it is, you can put it in the description and do anything you like with it. And there is already a place for the acceptance criteria. Maybe as a B, for you to be able to add a member, you need to be an active, sorry, if only I knew how to type, be an active member yourself, something like that. Oh my God. All right, something like that. It's an acceptance criteria. For me to be able to add somebody to the platform, I should be an active member. That's fine. You have a point right here where you can story point. This is not like encouraged like that because that means the guys will not be able to use the Fibonacci series if you're pointing from here. So, but then you still have the option, maybe at planning, your PO just, introduce a new story and it's like, okay, this is critical, guys. We would like to take this on. Okay, can we look at this in planning and then point it? You have an option here. We can say, okay, this story is going to take us, 5 point or whatever it is. You can add your 5 point here. This is telling you the priority. How important is this to the business? Is it a 1? Is it a 2? Depending again on how your product owner feels, you can change your priority level as well. This is talking about rates. Most times you want to associate this one to your defects, right? Is it a high defect? Is it low? Is it medium? Again, like talking about the severity. This is not like, yeah, so whatever you want to pick to this one, but I'll leave it blank. So, and then we have pretty much a lot of different information for you. You have your details. We have, look at the tag option. So this tag is telling you that I can tag, like if I want to make this like a I want to say, okay, this story would be available for refinement on so date. I can tag it. Right here you see I can tag Fumi, I can tag Sheun to this story, I can tag it to be a UI UX story. So this is very good, like, you know, when we'll get to that point, like when we want to run your queries, like you have information, like if you put enough information in this story, it's just pretty, you know, it gives it more visibility. Like if you need it going forward, like then you can pretty much, you know, be able to find it on time. So those are the things you can do on the story, on how to create a story. Again, you can use your discussion along the line. If the dev starts working on the story and they have questions, they can say, okay, you know, they can tag the product owner and say, at, you know, someone. Okay, I have a question on so. Once they tag that person, to how it works in my organization, we will get that message in our inbox. So, you know, it's giving you that prompt message like, okay, your attention is being needed. So that's actually very good if you really need somebody to jump on whatever you're doing on time. And also, you have the link right here. If you want to add anything, once you create this story, I want to go ahead and link it to a parent. If I click on that, I have the options to choose if it's a child, you know, I want to add to it, or if it's going to be a parent that I just created. So it's just a lot of things that you can, you know, pretty much do to this story. So, okay, let me go ahead and save this first of all. All right, so I've saved this right now. So this particular one is telling you the history of this thing. You can see that I just created this thing on 216. Once it starts to move from state to state, if I change the state to active, it begins to move, and then you can tell, like if coming right here, it will tell you whoever ever worked on it. If Coach Femi comes in again and work on this story right now, and I come back in the next 3 months, and I want to just know what has been going on with this thing, I come to this tab, I will be able to just understand the whole thing that has been happening to it just by looking at the details. I'm sorry, the history like that. And then this tab is also telling you about the links, things that you can link. Again, like if you don't want to go through that other shortcut that I showed you, you can come here and then add links, whatever thing you want to add, you can add. You want to add a tax to it, you want to add a parent, you want to add an epic, whatever it is you want to link to your story, you can do the right here. Also, if you have some attachments, you know, maybe some things you want to add, that would really help the whatever person is working on it, maybe for visibility, you know, because of course we want to, as a Scrum team or as a Scrum Masters, we're pretty big on transparency, right? So you want to add attachments, you know, whatever it is that you feel this story needs to be complete, you go ahead and also add it. So pretty much that's about, you know, how to create user stories. Again, you come to work items. You have this drop down button. You can see that the one that I just created right now is right there. I didn't assign it to anybody yet. It's new. It's just kind of like joined the league of all of the things that has been created before. Again, you come to new work item, you choose whatever thing you want to be, you want it to be tax, user story feature, whatever it is, and you're good to go. Okay, that's on stories. And right now, let's talk about how do we then assign stories into a sprint. Right now, if we come to the sprint board, it's showing that I have no work item because I have not assigned any story to any sprint. And right now we're on sprint 6. Our sprint started today, right? Okay, I want to move my stories into sprint, right? If I come here, these are the ways that you're wondering, did the sprint 6 just kind of like jump onto the board or something? No, you have to create these things. If I do new sprint, I can tell, okay, I already have my sprint, my sprint 7. I can say sprint 8, and I'm not sure of the dates. I guess the computer is right. So I will go ahead and create. And you see right there, that I do have a sprint 8 created as well. So you can go on and on and on and on and on like that. But right, you want to focus on sprint 6 because that's the current one right now. And then let's go ahead and move our stories. So if I go back to the backlog, work items. So these are my stories. I have this first one that I created, add members to the OBE platform. Look at the area. I already have the area as the team. Again, you have different teams in your company and the area is specific to the team you're working on. So if you choose a wrong team here, it would associate that story to the team that you put it on. So of course you want to be careful as to what team that is going to. Also, the iteration is then when you begin to assign this to sprints. So we have the sprint 6 that is being current right now. So if I put this to sprint 6 and I save, I should have it in my board. Do you see that? Okay, the silence is yes. Okay, and all right, I will go ahead and move all of our stories right here. Again, I will change the iteration to sprint 6 just so we can have enough on the board. I'll do this one by one so I don't confuse. So these are tasks. Usually they shouldn't stand alone. Your tasks should have like a parent. That would be like a story that is already attached. Of course, the guys do not just work off task. The task is associated to a story. If you have questions on that, I'll get there when I'm done. Okay, I'm not sure if I moved this already. Okay, not yet. Sprint 6. We're moving all the stories to sprint 6 so we can have things to look at on the board. Okay, that should be all right. I think we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories. Okay, I have 4 moved. I don't know which one I missed. Membership, add move. Which one did I move? I don't know.
Sign up functionality.
Bless you. Thank you. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have 5 stories already for us in sprint 6. Okay, so this is how you create your sprint and had things moved into your sprint. Just by changing the iteration path, the computer just, magically put everything in where they're supposed to be. Okay, so I would walk us through again what all of this means. You can decide as well to create work items just directly from your sprint backlog. You can just go ahead and create your user story, but I find this place pretty comfortable for me. It gives me all of the view that I want to see as well. So this column options is giving you all other things that I want to see on the board. I like to see the ID, like so if I have all of this thing right here, like okay, I don't know what number this is on ADO. I want to see assigned to. That's how they added all of those things. Maybe there are some things that you wish to add. You come to column options, add column. If I do ID, I don't know, well, maybe we're limited, but I think we should have. Okay, yeah, so this is the ID, and I say, okay, you can see that's the ID number for me. This is this number. So if I type 9 and I search it on ADO, profile setup will come up. So it just, whatever thing rocks your boat. This is that. And then if I click on each story and I'm coming here, I can change the state. So when the developers start working on it, you want to know, are they still, if they start working on it, well, they should put it into active or whatever. These states, you can use the state as well to manage all of that. And so if I want to view this as a tax board, this is it. This is my board as well. I can view all of this. I don't have to go to the backlog anymore because again, the backlog is like a mumbo jumbo of like a wish list of the product owner. The sprint backlog again would narrow it down and to tell you what exactly the team are working on at every point in time, like, like your current iteration. So you can really follow up with that. So these are the things that you can move. I can move this across, but I won't move it right now. So it's better you just create tasks like I was saying. New, if I wanted to create tasks, I'm a developer. I started working on phone call functionality. I come here and I say dev work, right? And I, it's new. This one now, I'm telling my Scrum Master that I've started working on this. I can click on that's the task. You see, it's showing tasks. That's why I said the tasks shouldn't stand alone. If I just leave this alone and I close the story and I put this as active, you can see it will come up on my board like I was unparented, like it will just be standing alone. It shouldn't be standing alone. I can, assign this to myself. I can change the status to active. I can save it. And you see, it just moved me from new to active. So that's how the board works, like that, until I close it, and then it comes to close, and we'll move like that from point to point. So that's how we create stories, and that's how we link it, or put it in the right iteration or the right sprint and move things along. That's about that. And then from there we can move to queries. Why do we use queries? Queries actually very important. As a Scrum team, you want to be able, of course, you mentioned, we all mentioned metrics, and metrics, right? You're going to be able to have metrics because, you have all of these things working on the board that the guys are working on. You know what? I think I should activate all this. Okay, let me set some to active. So that way we'll be able to pull some queries, or maybe even set some to closed. Closed, I think in this regard will mean that it's done. Okay, if we have 2 stories right now that are set to closed, that means I'm telling whoever is looking at my board that we have 3 stories that we haven't started, and we have 2 that we have already completed. Okay, I want to come to my query and say, okay, query, show me. So your query is going to be like, it's like the Wikipedia or whatever, this really big, like a functionality on ADO that pretty much saves all of the data, and it just depending on how you want it to work, you can modify it, you can do anything about your query. So you can see that these are some things that Coach Femi already created. He said all items. This is showing us all of the items that has already been created on ADO, whatever it is, a task or a user story. That query is telling you that this is everything. As we keep adding, you see that when I added members, had members to the OBA platform, the story that I just added, the query generated it. It will always just refresh itself, and so at every point in time, you will always have a correct information. Okay, if I go back and say, okay, what if your company or your team does not have an established query? Well, you should be able to create your own query too. Could be pretty complex, but still a work in progress for me as well. So don't beat yourself to it if you don't really know how. So these are ways that you can create your a query. So you're going to tell it what to pick. Okay, you want the query to pick the work item type. Work item type in the operator. All of these mean things. You see, contains, does not contain. Query could be pretty complex. Again, I will just limit it to, okay, I want the query bot to pull all of the stories that we had set to done. Okay. So let me pull up right there and see work item type, value should be done. Closed. Coach Fumi, let me know if I'm on the right track. Okay. No. All right. So let me start with the first one. I'll put this one and say, okay, the iteration path. Again, what sprint am I looking at? Do I want the query to pull anything from, it could be you want to know all of the things your team has done for the past 100 days, for the past whatever, but I'll limit this one to current sprint 6 because that's the only one that we have information on. So I can say iteration path then equal to current iteration. So this one is telling us that it's sprint 6, whatever. So in short, it will always just pull, the query would always be right and just be pulling it from that current sprint that you're on. Again, the team that we have is on becoming, and then I can change this to these are all of the different things that you want to know. If you're working on ADO, you want to change it to your area path. And this area path should be under what? Under becoming as well. And then you can go ahead and add new clause as to what state should it be. And then the states can be you want it to be like, what states. You can tell it that you don't want it to contain states YXZ. You don't want it to, whatever it is, but I want it to be in, I think this one uses closed. I want it to be in closed. Okay. And also, let me see if I run it. All right. You see that? You see that the two things that I had set to done has been pulled, because I gave it the current iteration, I told it the team, and I also told query whatever state that I want it to be. If I want it to be in new, can change this and then run the query. You see that it only pulled those 3 that are still in new. So these are all of the ways that you can modify your query. And you can go ahead and save this query. You put your name and say, okay, work not started. So this way, you know that, okay, whatever is saying work not started means it's in the new colon as only. Also, the folder you don't want to use my queries. If you put it under my queries, you're going to be the only one that have access to it. You want to save it under shared queries, right? You can put it under the testing query folder that's already existing. And then I say, okay, see, Cesar, I don't have permission. Okay, Coach Femi, I don't have permission. Okay, so we will not be able to save that. All right, so, but that's how to create queries and whatever thing you need that you want to pull on ADO. Query is your go-to place, like our own little Wikipedia. So that's that for query. And then I will skip delivery plans because it really doesn't apply to me in my company. But some organizations, they use it to track their plans or whatever thing they're working on. I don't use it, so I'm going to be skipping that. Sorry. Also, I use this as well for estimates. Okay, we've always been hearing Fibonacci series and all that. I love video because I don't have to use those other outside sources. So I'm sorry, planning Polka or whatever it is. Right on ADU, I use my estimates. So I come here and say create session, right? I title it OBA refinement. Okay, and then I put it in the sprints. I choose the team on becoming agile, and I select the sprint 6. And see, and right here, it's showing me the cards, right? You see, it's already in the system, right? I come here, this is our Fibonacci, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, and I don't know, I think I should use this. Create. Okay, see right there? OBO refinements. So this is how my product owner goes ahead and creates all of the things that he wants us to work on and estimate on the refinement dates. So whenever all the guys are gathered, it would, we'll just copy the link on here. We'll put it on the chat, and once they click on and join, you would see them popping in. You can tell that they've all logged in. You come here, you click on it, and all those stories that it's associated to sprint 6, you see right there, it's already there. and then you click on one. You see that phone call functionality. If you want to look at the story as well, we click on the story. They talk about it. They talk, they see it, they do whatever they want to do to it, and then they say, okay, it's time to vote. Once they start to vote again, see, I'm showing because I'm the only one in there. All of the guys too will begin to show, and once we have all the votes, he can tell you, and then you have review, and they review, and it just goes like that on and on. And that's how we use the estimate functionality on. Okay, I think somebody just joined. Yeah, so if you want to vote for me, please, and we can show. Okay, see, that person has voted. And right here, we have review. See, you just review and it's okay, the person voted 3. Okay, if it's the same, if he aligns and all that, okay, then that story is 3. And if that story is 3, you just come right here, you put a 3 and you save, and that's it. The story would then have the estimate like that. So that's how we use estimates again on ADO. And then from there, I will be moving down to retrospective. Again, we use ADO is our own from A to B. We use ADO for everything in my organization. We use it for our retrospective as well. So if I want to create a new retrospective because our sprint ended yesterday, right? I would have come here and say create new retro. And then I say, okay, retro sprint 5, right? And then I can say make all feedback anonymous. It's not going to show me whoever said anything or whatever. I have the template here that I can use. I can do the drop, add, keep, or improve. I can add an extra column if I want them to, give recognition or say something nice about themselves. I can call this kudos and can come ahead and save. You see right there. And that's it. And I have, and the guys know, okay, what should we drop? What can we add? What should we keep doing? What can we improve on? Kudos. And that's, and if I want to group all of this together, maybe, just because some are repetitive, can click on hats. I can put it all together. I can click on group, someone gave kudos to me. Oh, thank you. I'm blushing right now. So, okay, so that's how you use the retrospective board. See that? We should keep OBA happy hour. Yay, that's good. It's all anonymous, and you can tell it's anonymous because I told the computer to make it anonymous, so I can't tell whoever is typing. So I use it for my team because it makes them pretty open, and they just they talk whenever they know, no name is attached to it, so they're like themselves. So okay, thank you very much. Okay, so that's so this is what I use as well for my icebreaker, because sometimes again I don't want to just be sharing my screen and be taking them to Google or whatever. Again, I come right here, I do create, and I just say, I say icebreaker. I, make it icebreaker, and I just do whatever. I just play around with it. Again, it's the only thing we use in my company, so that's what we make do of. And that's a retrospective on ADO. And the last that I'll be showing you. Okay, I do have this one as well. You can use the calendar for if your team members will be off, during the sprint. Our sprint started today, and I know that Mama T is always out. So I can click on this one and say, okay, tomorrow is an off day for Mama T. I can click it right here. If she's part of my team, okay, I don't have Mama T, but I have Fatima. I click on Fatima and say, okay, sorry, the date did not align. Okay, right here, I'm telling, the team that, okay, Fatima will be out tomorrow. You can use that as well, and you can see that it's showing Fatima. If it's a general thing that, the whole team will be off, I can come right here and say everyone will be off on the 18th. And right there, it will just put it right there for everyone. You see it's showing our logo that the whole of OBA will be off on the 18th. So that's how, again, you can modify your calendar Also, we do have, then there's something called the dashboard. So I use the dashboard in my company. So we have different uh, metrics, right? I don't like to go to the burn down page and then track velocity on a different part. You can put all of these things together and see it at once. So that's what the dashboard is for. It's very good. Like it just gives you like an overview of everything going on with your teams without having to go into the sprint board or whatever. Again, depending on what you want to see, modify your query and it will pull the right thing. So if I want to create a new dashboard, I come right here and I say new dashboard and I say team, get it done. And I'm telling this thing to automatically refresh every 5 minutes. Again, I want to leave it on that team. If it's on the project, it's going to be limited. So I put it on the team so my team can have access to it, and I create. Right there. I just created a dashboard for team Get It Done. So how do we then add widgets? You see, it's blank. Okay, you want to have your burn down. You want to have your velocity added. Then I say edit. And right here, I can search for a burn down chat. It's added right here. I had, that's it. I come right here, I say velocity. Right here, I do add. So if I say I'm done editing, it's gonna be showing me, see that? It's showing me my burn down and the velocity right there for sprint 6. And you can modify this. If I want to modify my velocity, I click on more action, configure. I can say, whatever the size should be. Maybe I want it to be a 4x2. If I want it to only show stories, or I want it to show it in epics, whatever it is that you feel your velocity should show, count of work items or count of, some, maybe you want it to add it together, some of story points. So right here, whatever it is that, we're pointing, it will show, and I'll save. I've modified my points, my velocity like that. So that's the use of a dashboard. I like it because it just compiles all my metrics for me at once, and I'm able to, see things and like that. Again, if you want to add maybe things from your query, you can do your query tile. You can add that. Did I do add? Okay, I can do done editing. You see, I do have something right here. I can configure something from the query. I can put, all of the things that Coach Femi added there. I do save. That's telling me that we have 16 work items already. So anything at all that you want to add, again, your dashboard is always like the go-to thing for me first thing in the morning. I can track all of my team's progress from the previous day from my dashboard. It always updates like instantly, okay? And then I think I missed something. So if we go back to sprint, okay, I didn't tell us the functionality of this. So right here, if I click on this, I want to see if I click on planning. You see, planning is telling me all of the sprint that I have. From right here, I can tell what the planned effort is. I have 16 things planned. I have 5 user stories. I have 2 tasks. It's telling me the date, how many working days is left. All of those things are cool. I like it, so I use it. Work details will also tell you the capacity. If you set capacity for your team members, it will show it here. It will tell you that, one person has 10 things assigned to them already. It will show them that they are overworked. It will show some people that they still have room, they have bandwidth to take more work, things like that. ADA is cool like that. Okay, and then we have the filter function right here. This one can, maybe when the guys start talking at stand up, and the stories might not look like this. They might be like 25 things on the board, and you cannot be looking through and be looking for Raj and whatever print on the board. So you just say, okay, assign to, okay, Me. And then it would, point out to all of those things that are just, in my name. And when that person is talking, you can follow through and say, okay, fine, these three things are what Ade is working on. Okay, you can follow through. Again, whatever it is, you can search, you can filter by the parent's work, you can filter by the tags. Again, remember the tags when we were trying to create stories. If you have, if you have a particular thing that you are tagged, and that will help you filter and narrow down your search, you can put it there. Again, it's filter. So whatever thing that it is that you want to use. So pretty much that. Also, we do have analytics. Again, you can view your burn down from here. Once the team start working, is because we just started our sprint, today. So we haven't really burned anything down. But these are things that these are places that you can come to. I can burn it down by stories. I can burn it down by, whatever it is. The burn down chart will show you from here. Or you can show you can show this as well from your backlog. You can come to analytics. You can view your CFD from here. You can view your velocity. All of this, these are like different ways that, you can pull all of this information from. But again, I rarely come here because my dashboard kind of works for me. It shows me all of those things and I don't have to manually come here one by one. So again, whatever rock your boat is what you want to focus on. I think that should bring us to the end of the training section. I hope you enjoyed it and I did not bore you. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ade.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ademori. Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Wow, I actually
It was
enjoyed it.
great.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you.
Ademori,
Kudos.
Good morning.
don't stop sharing. There's something
Okay.
I want the team you to talk about before we move on. So can you click on overview and take them to the wiki page? What does wiki do?
Oh yeah. So wiki, my guys, they use this wiki for like a saving spots, like things that they work on, they can save it on the wiki, like documents or whatever. They can use the wiki as a go-to place for themselves. And sometimes they would even tag the way you could attach things from the user story that you're trying to create. They could go ahead and attach things from the wiki as well, and people go there for documentation, for research, and just learning. So whatever it is, but
Great job, Ademori. All right, you do have a few people have questions, so hold back and enjoy the question session. Maite, you go ahead. Maite.
I can't hear anyone. Okay.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Demorin, first of all, I want to say thank you very much. Just great. I have a quick question to ask you. How long did it take you to learn how to master how to use this software?
Oh, that's an awesome one. If you think I'm a master. So I am still learning. This is my 4th month on the job, if that helps your question. So I've been learning from day one and I am still learning. So, but this is my 4th month.
Did you have someone show you, or did you YouTube? You asked someone to come and show you how to use the software?
So I didn't have anyone show me anything. I just I knew that I had to be better, and I had to live up to expectation of how my interview went. So, but I kind of had like a soft landing in my company. Most of those things were already existing, and I did not have to, start looking for how to break the box or something. I had dashboards that the Scrum Masters already use. For example, like so I didn't even have to create most from the scratch. I just went ahead and I modify whatever that had already been created. Like for this one right now, I can come here and say copy dashboard. So if I copy this dashboard right now, it's just gonna copy all of these things, and I don't have to start looking for how to add burn down. I didn't have to go through all that. But then again, I've shown you, if you didn't have that much support wherever destiny takes you to, you get the job, so that you can at least be independent and have something to play with. And I play with it every day, so I'm able to get better. What I still struggle with, I still have my own area of opportunity, would be queries. Again, query could be very tricky, and I have some of my scrum masters that I work with, they're very learned on that, so they always help. They still struggle with it as well, because sometimes whatever you're pulling is just a lot. Query could be very complex, but that seems to be the only place I struggle. I pretty much have a good sense of it right now.
No, yeah, very intuitive. Curious. I guess it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it is. Once you start working on it, all of this, they're very straightforward. They're just straightforward. Yeah. Did I tell you that? Did I even, like, this IG thing that I showed you right now? I didn't even know. Like,